Hey everyone, welcome to another $1,000 strap search. I've got my 1,000 on singles here and I've already gone through them. We're about to see what I found. For this week's tip, I want to remind you guys, use multiple sources when you are looking up values. If you go by one book and one book alone, you might get an answer that you're not happy with. You might be way overpaying, you might be way underselling. So use multiple sources. I always have a couple different books. I've got my main book that you guys see all the time. I do have another book that I use just as a checklist more than anything else. It's a little smaller and it's a lot easier to carry around with me. And of course, there's always checking auction sales. Not necessarily auction prices. You don't care what somebody's asking for something. You want to know what that particular item sold for. And there's ways you can do that on eBay in the advanced search section. I'll leave that for another video. But for now, let's see what we've got in this 1,000. Lots of goodies. Starters, got me a Where's George? Where's George bill? Love Where's George. I'll look that one up and I will make sure to make my notes on it, saying where I found it, where it's been. It's just a cool website, Where's George. If you've never done it, if you've never checked it out, it's there. You're not supposed to write on bills, but I didn't write on this one. Somebody else did, so I will look and see where it's been. I did find trinaries. This one's 0s, 2s, and 9s. This one's 1s, 3s, and 4s. 0s, 6s, and 4s. I want to say so close, but I'm not going to do that. Doesn't matter what it's close to because it's not it. 1s, 3s, and 5s on this particular one. Another 1, 3, and 5. And I mentioned last week when I do my searches, the reason I collect trinaries is it's much easier to see how close bills are and to spot bills with the same serial number. Now, obviously, this one doesn't have it, but they both have 1s, 3s, and 5s on it. So, once again, sorting through 1,000 bills, the chances of finding two with the same serial number are slim to none. But if you save certain things, you're bound to run across another one. This one's got 4 of a kind, and it's a trinary. This one's got 1s, 4s, and 8s with 4 1s in a row, and a 5th one there, so technically 5 of a kind. Another one with quad 1s, ending in quad 1s right there. This one starts with quad 1s and also a trinary, 1s, 2s, and 4s. Quad 8s on this particular one. Quad 8s, and this one's a little older, 2006. It's got another 8 to go with it. What is that? That's a trinary as well, 5s, 8s, and 9s. So lots of reasons to like that one. And then there's this one. Maybe it's just my eyes, but it's hard to focus on that particular one for me with all those vertical lines. 5 1s in a row. 9, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 3, 2. So a block of 5 on this particular bill. You don't find 5 of a kind very often. I did find some stars. Let's see what we got here. These are all 2013s, so they will go into the pile so that I can search them on mycurrencycollection.com. I know it sounds like they're a paid sponsor, but they are not. They don't sponsor me. If anything, I'm sponsoring them. I send people to them. That's where you can find out the print runs and all your star notes. That corner is bugging me there. Okay. Lots of stars in this run. I mean, lots of stars. Generally, you're lucky to find, one in a batch of 100. You just saw how many I pulled from my batch of 1,000. That's also why I do 1,000, because I'm more likely to come across something rather than get skunked. For older bills, this one's a 99. This one was definitely left in somebody's pocket when it went through the wash. This 99 is actually in nice shape, so that one's probably going to be a keeper. Underneath it is a 99 that's rough. It's got a rip and a little tear on the top. Not necessarily a keeper, but like I said, I pull out everything so you guys know what you can expect to find when you're going through. This one's a 1995, so we're getting a little older. Another 1995, well worn. 1988A, first year that you can find a web note, not a web note. Another 88A. Then we get a little older. Found a 1985. Not in the greatest of shape. And then I found another one. Oldest bill in the bunch. Right there, 1963B, Joseph W. Barr. Bar note found in circulation. Whenever I find bar notes in circulation, they always seem to be in relatively good shape, considering how rare these are. These bills were only printed for 30 days. 1 month's time is all these bills were printed for, so there are not very many of these out there at all. Most of these were tucked away into collections right away. That's why when you find them, they're in such good shape, because somebody sees somebody else's collection and thinks that's just $1, and they spend it as $1. And that's how it ends up in circulation and into your pocket if you are lucky enough. So that was what I had found this week going through my stack. So let's take a look at something from my safety deposit box. I have a $20 bill. Okay. This $20 bill is a 1981 $20 bill from the Federal Reserve of Chicago. And you can see, look at how crisp these corners are. Razor sharp corners. This bill is incredible. The border isn't the greatest, but I can live with that. To find a bill this clean is a pretty good find. But I didn't get this bill because it's a 1981 $20 bill that's ultra clean. I got this bill because it's a 1981 ultra clean $20 bill with no back. I've got a missing first print 1981 $20 bill. I can zoom in on this. It's really going to goof up the camera. It's going to try to focus, and there's nothing for it to focus on. That back is, if anything, there's a little bit of bleed from the wet ink of the bill that was below it. You can see it looks almost like a thumbprint there, but I think that's literally just, yep, if you tilt it just like that, that's just the wet ink from when this bill was printed. Now, the way this happens is when this bill does get printed, this is not on the bill, by the way. I just saw that there and had a mild heart attack. That's on the, this is on the case, not the bill. Anyway, the way this happens is when the paper goes through the machine for the first time, the first printing is the back printing, because that's the same on every bill. So that the back is the reverse, that is the first printing. But what happened here is 2 pages got stuck together. And when the pages went through the machine together, only one of the pages received the back. Then when they flipped the sheets over to print the obverse, or the front of the bill, the sheets separated and every single sheet got the front. But that means that the ones that were stuck together never got printed on the back. Something like this is a major error. This is something that should be caught at the reserve, and it was not. These are the mistakes where people will pull this and replace them with a star note. That's why the star notes are printed in the first place, for errors like this. So it's an error that seems so simple. 2 pieces of paper stuck together, yet it passed through inspection and got out into the public. But not for long, because like I said, this bill is beautiful. Incredible condition on this $20 bill on the blank back. Now, back to my first hint of the day, which was have multiple sources. Here's my small book that I carry around, and my small book lists missing printings. Missing printing error, yada, yada, yada. Here it says, a $2 Federal Reserve from 1976, missing the first printing. Average buying price is $1,500. In very fine, it's $3,000. And choice uncirculated is $7,500. This isn't graded, but it's probably going to be sent in. This is definitely much closer to the uncirculated than it is very fine. And those numbers right there, that'll get your heart going. But, like I said, multiple sources. Do your homework. I got my big book. And my big book also shows errors. And there's missing printing right there. Missing first printing. If we go over here, it talks about the different types of missing printings, and this one says missing first print in an F12 is 150, EF40 is 300, and choice uncirculated is about 450 on that particular note. Now, because it's a 20, it may be worth a little bit more. So there are two books showing the exact same error with dramatically different prices. So you tell me, is this a $7,500 note or is this a $150 note? I'm guessing it's somewhere in between. I'm assuming it's probably in the $400 to $500 range, maybe a little more because of condition, maybe $500 or $600. But I'm quite certain that this is not going to be a $7,000 note. But that's why you want to get multiple sources on your stuff. All right, guys, that's what I've got for you this week. If you learned anything new, go ahead and hit that like button. If you like what you see and you want to see more, go ahead and subscribe. As always, I love reading your comments. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.